Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news of markets unimpressed by the latest data. But first today, the latest dairy auction has delivered something of a surprise. Prices are up 2.7% in US dollar terms, slightly less in New Zealand dollar terms. There have been good gains for whole milk powders and skim milk powders. The derivatives markets weren't expecting this. And these gains have come despite a strengthening of the Kiwi dollar. Since the recent high point in May, dairy prices had dropped back almost 9%, but today's rise has pegged that fall back to just 6%. In of itself, this improvement won't change any farmgate milk price payout, but it is the first rise in the last 5 auctions and will be a welcome respite. To mean anything, however, it needs to be sustained for another 5 auctions or so. In the US, the June retail sales results came in officially up 3.4% year on year and at a similar pace to the previous month. But seasonal adjustment seems to have helped it, and on an actual basis, the June 19 on June 18 increase was only up 1.8% and barely above their inflation rate. This is not the result that has impressed analysts. Meanwhile, American industrial production has risen only 1.3% in June, up from the same quarter a year ago. Manufacturing was only up 0.4% on the same basis. Both were outcomes lower than expected. At the World Trade Organization, the US has lost a case involving restrictions on products sold by Chinese state-owned enterprises. In China, the collapse of a large private bond trader is causing waves in their financial system. And in Germany, sentiment fell in their latest influential ZEW survey. In Australia, their government has released a report into the banking regulator APRA, and it shows a similar culture and conduct issues as the banks has that it regulates. Few in the banking sector who deal with APRA will be surprised by this finding. But the main impact will now be on how it engages with the Aussie superannuation industry, with whom it had a cosy hands-off approach, and that is now likely to change. US Treasury 10-year yield will open today at 2.12%. That's 3 basis points higher than this time yesterday. Gold is down $6 overnight to $1,407 an ounce. And US oil prices are falling sharply today as the weak US retail sales numbers suggest demand may have peaked. They're down more than $2 to $57.50 a barrel. But the Brent benchmark is down a similar amount to $64.50 a barrel. The Kiwi dollar is still strong, but has slipped back a bit to just on 67 US cents. On the cross rates, we're holding high at 95.5 Aussie cents, and against the euro, we're at 59.8 euro cents. That leaves the trade-weighted index just on 72 and unchanged from yesterday. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.